will dismiss them as products of a lost generation, the followers of our Christian movement should are generally sincere in their beliefs.
So we can see that was quite a large gathering, the first Philadelphia Ratha Yatra in 1975. It even made the news.
Haribo. Philadelphia Rath Yatra ki
Jai! Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! So I don't know about you, but when I watch that, it stirs up a feeling of immense gratitude, knowing that we can experience and carry on this wonderful Ratha Yatra tradition that was started here in Philadelphia in 1975, in the same location, going down the Parkway, with the same Jagannath deities, and Srila Prabhupada on the chariot as well. We have the ability to keep this going. It's ecstatic. It's really a very joyful thing to do. There are some devotees that were actually there in 1975. Vishnupada Prabhu was there, Kaivalya Prabhu was there. Deva Prabhu, were you there? No. Trilochan Prabhu was there, Bhakti Sangeeta was there, Bhalabhadra Prabhu was there, Haryasha Prabhu was there, maybe a few others as well. So it'd be great to hear from them also what their recollection of that day is as well. So at this point, we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming Philadelphia Ratha Yatra.
What's the date?
September 25th, Saturday, September 25th. So make sure you mark it on your calendar. And then also mark on your calendar the days leading up to it, and a couple of weekends leading up to that as well. Because it's just not the day we want you to show up. Because the nectar really comes, it's on that day, but it actually starts well before that day. You know, say like preparing for, in America, preparing for Christmas, it starts like Black Friday, right? People start a whole month before on Black Friday. You don't just like wake up on Christmas and celebrate Christmas. No, it's the Christmas season. So this is the Ratha Yatra season. We can really get into it. And then like Christmas, where it's all about getting material gifts and giving gifts and spending out your credit card and things like that on buying clothes and toys and computers and TVs for people. We actually have the ability to come together to prepare to give people the ultimate gift, and that is eternal love for Krishna. So we're going to start tonight. We have a couple speakers. We're going to start with His Grace Chaitanya Jivan Prabhu, who for years now has served as the chairman of the Philadelphia Ratha Yatra Committee. So please help give your attention and appreciation to Chaitanya Jivan.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Varuna. When he said it was September 25th, I had to check. I wanted to make sure I did it right. And that's right, it's 25, 21. So it's that little piece of gold. Still a couple more permits that have to be gotten. A couple more permits that have to be acquired. The health permit for the feast and tents. So, but otherwise, this is a good thing. Ishwara Paramat Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Andiya Govinda, Sarva Karnam. We know that Jagannath is the supreme controller, but we want to just be grateful that the city gave Jagannath permission to have this festival.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Actually, being the chairman is actually is a a lot of the times is nice because all the devotees do all the work, and then somehow or another they give me the credit. So it's a blessing, you know. But they are the ones that do it. So I want to say thanks to everybody. There's some devotees that aren't here anymore that have moved on to greater service, but everyone who's been involved with the Ratha Yatras. The latest edition of Philly Ratha Yatra has been going on for about 13 years now. So we only missed 2 years, one caused hope and one caused COVID. But otherwise, this is a really glorious event, 13 years. So it's a little bit smaller this year because of COVID. It's a little bit smaller, we're only going to have one car. But that's good, because all three of the principal deities will be there anyways, and that's all that's important. I wanted to mention that there are many personalities that we can take inspiration from when it comes to the Ratha Yatra. But I have a feeling that there are two special personalities that the Ratha Yatra was very dear to. One was Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya really, you can read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's so many amazing stories about the relationship of Lord Chaitanya and the Ratha Yatra. So it's a very, very special event. And then we have Srila Prabhupada. From a young boy, he always celebrated Ratha Yatra. He would organize, I think he was only about 5 years old when he started organizing Ratha Yatras. So we can take our inspiration and from those two personalities, Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada. This is a very, very special event. There's a couple stories that hopefully I can, if you haven't noticed, I'm really nervous, I'm not very good at this. But so I might as well, I'm shaking it to death, I might as well bring this up. Anybody that gives contribution to the Ratha Yatra gets this beautiful, I'll build you a temple. And it's the story of Juhu and all the trials and tribulations and the glory of the Juhu Bombay temple. So this is a very nice, you take this story, you take the tales that are in this book, and if you get them into your head, I mean, the greatest fears of life will dissipate just by remembering. Just a simple story about one particular temple. There are so many stories that's multiplied all over the world. Ratha Yatra is all over the world now. David Day will have more to say on that. He's been involved with over 50 or 60 Ratha Yatras. So we find that the Ratha Yatra is all over the world, which brings me to one of the stories that I wanted to try to remember and repeat, is that it's an anonymous story, but there was supposedly a devotee on modern day. There was a devotee on top of a building outside the Jagannath temple, and some gentleman came up to him and he asked him, how can you be so attached, and how can you be so much willing to serve a God who won't even let you in his temple? And the devotee responded that actually Jagannath is so kind that he has left the temple, not only left the temple like once a year in Jagannath Puri, but he's actually gone all over the whole world. So he actually personally reaches out to all of his devotees. There was another story that really struck my heart, and every year in Jagannath Puri there were a blind couple that used to, they were both blind, and they had they came to the Ratha Yatra, and they would wind their way through the crowds, and they would always come to the same corner on that mile-long pathway that the devotees pulled the Rath carts in Jagannath Puri, and they would always stand in the same place. They would get help somehow or another to always end up in the same place. So somebody inquired from them, why is it that you are so dedicated to coming every year to a festival that you can't even see. So they replied that we haven't come to see Jagannath, we've come to be seen by Jagannath. And that's what the whole idea also with darshan. It's not that we go to see the deity, it's that we become very fortunate that the deity now sees us. So this is a wonderful opportunity to give the grace to so many unlimited living entities. Not just the human beings, but all the living entities that align the pathway that Jagannath will come down. The trees, the birds, the squirrels, everyone will have a chance to come under the glance of Jagannath. So, having said that, we've only got about 6 weeks left to raise enough funds to pull this off, and to also, by the grace of God, and also we need lots and lots of people to volunteer for all of the places that need to be filled, and that will be given to you by others, that information. So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for allowing me to be involved with Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Chaitanya Jivan Prabhu. We're going to hear from several other devotees as well. David Prabhu. Come and say a few words. Remember the date? It's September 25th.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O Spiritual Master, servant of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of the Lord Chaitanya Dev and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. This is what we pray, our offerings and our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. And Ratha Yatra is a prime example of how Prabhupada brought Krishna consciousness to the Western world. I was fortunate enough to be in charge of setting up the traveling Ratha Yatra in 1979 with a grant from the VBT, and during that time I personally did about 60 Ratha Yatras with carts from San Francisco to Washington, Detroit, Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and a number of other places, Atlantic City. And what I found and was so inspired by was that this festival changes people's lives. So many people that I met over the years who had come into contact with Krishna consciousness were from Ratha Yatra festivals, all the way back to the original one in San Francisco and Golden Gate Park. This Lord Jagannath comes out of the temple to benedict the public, which is very similar to the first purpose of Krishna ISKCON, is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large. So this is Lord Jagannath's benediction of coming to bring his mercy to the public. And we have the great opportunity to be a part of that. This is a rare opportunity, and I can tell you one story. In Toronto, I was involved for a very long time. I did the first Ratha Yatra in a long time in 1977 there. Their original one was 1973. But the congregation, the people who do the service for Ratha Yatra, it is like their birthright. They pass it down to their children and do have their service taken up, because people have come to realize that this is a great benediction to be able to serve in Ratha Yatra. The Ratha Yatra festivals, as Prabhupada described so many things in our society, are transcendental. You cannot materially figure out what the benefit of a bunch of Hare Krishnas jumping down and dancing on Benjamin Franklin Parkway is going to change anything, like poverty or hunger or war or disease or anything. The benefit of Ratha Yatra is Lord Jagannath's mercy. He's the Lord of the universe, and one beauty of Lord Jagannath is that he doesn't really take offense. He's very tolerant of our service and our position in spiritual development. So this is an opportunity for all of us to work together and to cooperate and to bring this transcendental knowledge and this transcendental love of God to society at large. So I encourage you all to get involved and support this. We've been quite successful in Philadelphia. I've been on the committee since the early days of the current age of Ratha Yatra. And I'm very grateful for the service, and I encourage all of you to take advantage of it. It's a wonderful service, and I'm sure Srila Prabhupada would be very pleased at how we work together in doing this festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those words of encouragement and inspiration, Devi Deva Prabhu. I want to ask Kaivalya Prabhu to come up and say a few words about Ratha Yatra. Kaivalya Prabhu was at the 1975 Ratha Yatra that we watched the video of. Maybe you can share a few memories of that as well.
Hare Krishna, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatayane. So this is actually great news that our temple got permission to have Ratha Yatra, although it's too late, but at least we can have Ratha Yatra. So our last 15 years or 13 years, we are having Ratha Yatra. And when Lord Jagannath goes out, actually he gives darshan to one and all. And we can see his eyes. His eyes are so round and big, surprising eyes actually. And they shower he showers his mercy to all the citizens of Philadelphia and all the devotees, non-devotees, everyone equally. So we should really take advantage of that. And Jagannath Yatra means Lord Jagannath Ji, when we pull the rope of Jagannath cart, that means we are bringing him to Vrindavan or to our heart. Because Jagannath temple is considered as Dwarka Dham, and Lord Krishna went to, like we heard in the Sri Prabhupada's lecture today, that Lord Krishna went in solar eclipse to Kurukshetra, and all the devotees gathered together there, and he was on a cart in the royal dress and everything. And when Brajvasi heard, they came to Kurukshetra and they met him there, but they wanted to see Krishna actually in the like Brajvasi rather than in the royal clothes and the mukut and everything. So they actually thought at that time that we will pull Jagannath's cart, to Vrindavan. So that means, that's there, like for us, it's our own heart. Actually, when we pull the rope of Jagannath cart, we bring him in our heart. So we should actually we should actually help Rath Yatra as much as you can, physically and financially. All the way, whatever we can do, we should do it, and it's not too much time left now. So we all have to work together and help this Rath Yatra nicely. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. And also want to hear some words from Mother Shobharati. And then after that, Krishna Kirtan Prabhu.
This is enough.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Jagannath, Jai Balaram, Jai Shri Prabhupada. I am kind of a history buff, not so much, not with dates, and so don't come back and ask me what kind of history I like, but I love to visit historical places where they reenact history, colonial Williamsburg, Plymouth. But today after watching that video, we have a great opportunity to follow in our Acharya's footsteps, to be able to retrace the same steps that he took. What kind of an opportunity is that? You know, the mundane visits to colonial Williamsburg and this opportunity to walk the same steps that he has walked. That is just an amazing, amazing opportunity. The other day we were in our Bhagavatam class, we were talking about trying to visit the original Philadelphia temple. And Kaivalya Prabhu was telling us about that temple, and we all decided that we would have a yatra there, all of us would go there together. And to think that we have the opportunity to be with devotees who were with Srila Prabhupada at that first Philadelphia Ratha Yatra is just an amazing opportunity. And I hope all of you will see it that way and take part in this, not only just attending the Rath Yatra, but asking, inviting your friends, your family to come, out of town visitors to come and take part in this Rath Yatra. And not just, like he said, on that day, but the festivities start way earlier. And you know, those of us who are from India, we know how our weddings are so festive and so noisy and so fun. And that is the kind of atmosphere we have. We need a lot of volunteers to do a lot of physical work, and also we need a lot of Lakshmi. So I hope all of you will take this opportunity to take part in this wonderful, wonderful celebration. It is absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Baba Tune.
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 Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki
Jai.
How many of you are enthusiastic? 0 to 10. 10 being the highest, 0 being 1, 2, 3. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Oh, this is only 3. Let's try the energy. I know that what has affected all of us. Let I give a nice interesting story. 1, full. Now when we are at home, when you're mad. So when you're happy also we can yell. Everyone ready? Can you, those who have two hands, please raise both hands. Up, like this. Everyone, please. Not half and full. 1, 2, 3, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki! This makes we are in one home and worshipping Jagannath and last year I was reaching out to our authorities. What happened? Where is Jagannath? It's not in the streets. So at the same time, not to be surprised, the whole world went through this trauma, and including Jagannath temple itself. I don't know if you're keeping track of, I'm from Jagannath, near Jagannath Puri, and the same situation happened in India also. Anyone been to Jagannath Puri? Have you seen the video? Not many has known, but you will fortunately participate here and participating here. So the same dilemma happened. Can the Jagannath will be allowed to come out? What do you think? Guess what is happening? Everyone can come inside. Those who want to come, please come inside. So anyone guess what happened? Whether they were allowed or not?
No.
No? Okay, no. Who is other one can guess? I'm talking about Jagannath Puri. Okay? So, we may be surprised, but Jagannath Rath Yatra happened. Rath Yatra took place, and the Pandas, because they did not allow outsiders. Not out millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people come, they were not allowed. So, the Pandas were devotees of Jagannath, they themselves carried out the whole festival. That's enough for to conduct the whole festival. 3 chariots, the new chariot, the perform the Rath Yatra, all celebrated the perform the ceremony. Isn't it very inspiring? So this is our opportunity for us. Today as Prabhu was showing that Prabhu was given, means Lord Jagannath has sanctioned. How many of you want to have the Rath Yatra happen today? This year. How many of you say? Raise your hands.
Haribo!
Sure? Let's try this again. Energy. 1, 2, 3. Haribo! Thank you. That's what makes Rath Yatra. That's what makes festival. Our enthusiasm. And I was talking to Vishnu that very short time. How can you do this? He was very confident. Can you see all the senior Vaishnavas? They gave their time. You can take the child out. So they gave enthusiastically. There's almost the 60s and 70s. I'm sorry, I'm just disclosing your age. And we as a youngsters, young people, come and support both. Philadelphia Rath Yatra involves almost 10 months of preparation. Actually, if you know or not, 10 months of preparation. Is not a bachelor? Yeah, I can figure it from this. Yeah. So 10 months of preparation, but still we have that blessing of the senior Vaishnavas coming and inspiring us. You will agree? I hope you will appreciate. Appreciation is very much needed for all of us. We appreciate what they did, then we can get this benefit. And I request everyone, please join, please plan now itself how we can make this festival happen and very successful. Ready? You all ready? Jagannath Swami ki! Yeah. Now, if you have received this card, how many of you received this cards, the sponsorship cards we have? Received? Here, devotees can receive here the cards. Can somebody give them? They can get a chance to take a look. I asked one chariot. Yeah, everybody raise the hand. How will I know? Yes. So okay. Those who have not, please take it. Just because you have a card doesn't mean you're giving. Just we are taking interest. I believe Vishnu how much we need is Vishnu has been leading, taking a lot of. It's not a very easy task. I also serve from Delaware, which is small Rath Yatra. It involves a lot of things. I was asking you how much is needed for this year.
Well, the budget.
Yeah, budget.
Usually it's 70,000. This year we're reducing it to 50,000.
50,000.
Yeah, because we're doing less. Only one card and some of them.
Yes. 50.
50.
City does not worry about, they don't worry about 3 cars and 1 car. This time, this is the permit, this is a cost involved. So 50,000 is the budget. I request us, all of you, offer your donations today. And anyone, we had here with our headmaster is gone here. He was standing here somewhere. Oh yeah. You want to say something? I want to get your card first. You're the headmaster, you have to lead the example. Okay, anyone? I see Jagannath Chandra here for a long time, very good. I also remember my maps so that everybody can see me. So, anyone, please? Anyone would like, yes?
I'll give $1,000.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Cash, yes.
That's cash. I'll give it. That's 500 cash.
Vishnu Prabhu ki jai. And leaders should set by example. Thank you. Of course, he's giving more. He just said 1,000. I know that he's giving more. So, anyone else? Next. Yes, Prabhu.
My wife and I, Sangeeta, will give $1,001.
Vamane Samita Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, Prabhu.
And I also have an anonymous donation of $500.
Please, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Remember this. What they are doing is, please, if you see, what they are taking this advantage of this service. Rath Yatra is going to happen, right? We are becoming part of it. We become blessed by this, by Lord is accepting our service. Yes. Next. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes.
We have one. Kaivalya Prabhu.
Kaivalya Prabhu 2001. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Good in math, they can keep account of it. So yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Our family will give 501.
You didn't announce yet? Okay, Mother Savarande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Yes. Anyone? Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami, Jai Jagannath. Yes.
From Atula's family, 501.
What your name again?
Prashant Atula.
Prasant Akula. Prasant Akula and Sanjay. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Thank you so much. Anyone else, please? Next. Yes. Anyone? Whatever it is, don't worry, don't be scared. I'm here. I'm also an ordinary person like you. Yeah. Mother Suman, don't be shy. One more. Mother Bachana, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. She's hiding. Mother Jagannath Priya.
She did want to hide us.
She wanted to hide. Jagannath Priya 51. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. I saw your son after a long time. I will grab him separate. Nice to see you. Suman Sharma.
I have to write my name.
Your last name? Suman Sharma?
I have to write my name.
I put my name. 251 Suman Sharma family. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Of course we have 6 more weeks, but we can always keep. Today is announce whatever you want. Even $1, $10, $100. Doesn't matter. Please announce whatever. Yes. Now we have our Dhanacharya Brahman family 501. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Thank you so much. Anyone else? This is being offered in front of the deities. So basically the Lord is accepting the service. Today or tomorrow we can do it. Give whatever you can do today, then again you can decide. The rest of the time is don't be nervous that I'm giving, others are giving more, I'm giving less. There is no question of less or more. Suresh, Amin and family. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'm feeling so blissful to be here and after seeing this video. I assure that as soon as we are in the field, in the chariot, all auspiciousness we will feel. This experience we have, again will rejuvenate our love for Jagannath again. 1, 2, 3. Dhanaram Sharma and family. 251. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And watermelon from Mataji.
We'll finish in 5 minutes and then we'll do RT on time. RT will be on time and then we'll do it again after. We'll finish up after RT. Yeah, RT will be on. They didn't do any.
Anyone else?
They didn't do
Yes, please.
I didn't see anyone.
We have only a few minutes. Just for you or him. No, I was Shraddha Mataji only. No, I am saying Shraddha Mataji. Hare 501. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We'll go to Yatra separately, don't worry. You cannot cheat with this less money. Just kidding. Thank you so much. Yes.
51.
Yes, your name. Sai Vikram and family. 51. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Darshan Med 251. Hey, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sri Lekha Paul. Sri Lekha Paul 51. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishan and Susma. Sign. Did I select? Yeah. Krishan and it's not your first, my eyes down. Krishan and Susma signing 1001. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Please do it. It's not the money, it's our heart. We inspire each other in good work. How many of you think that Yatra is going to happen anyway? Please say Haribol.
Haribol!
No, how many of you think that Yatra is going to happen anyway? Loud Haribol! Haribol! It's going to happen. One chariot, three chariot, whatever is going to happen. We need to be part of it. Mahendra Mishra 251. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. We have a few more minutes. Purohit and family 301. Is that right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Please, once more. Rishabh Sharma and family 51. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everyone, Jai Jagannath Swami ki Jai. We have Mr. Moth. Mr. Moth Papat Lal 51. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is our chariot break. What is saying? Tirochan, you are saying something? You're looking for 10? Okay, you got it.
I got it right in your textbook.
Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So this is a symbol in previous years. At least I know that we spent 90,000, 100,000 dollars. It's the Lord has given us another year opportunity. I don't know if I would have been standing and speaking today. Actually, you all agree? Yes or no? True? No, I don't know. Today I am here. We are engaged in the service. We don't know about tomorrow, right? So understand that we are not raising the funds, at least from, if anyone thinks that I'm raising, that's not the truth. We together are engaging in the service. We have the ability to, the hands and legs are working, we are speaking, and we have the ability to offer. If you cannot offer money, and always please think how can you give your physical power, as service. Because we need for cleaning, we need garlands, cooking, serving, all these many ways. So please take this as a project and take this as a meditation for almost 3 weeks or 6 weeks we have September 25th. Take this opportunity, meditate and make it happen. You all know how much efforts are needed for Ratha Yatra, right? How many people been to Ratha Yatra before? Raise your hands. So I can see. Very nice. Only half of the devotees raise hands actually. Yeah, believe me, 50,000 is not a big, it's not I think you already have almost $2 billion temple in our jungles who want to do so very hard to build this. It's not that little money is needed for maintaining Jagannath and maintaining our everyone. It is, I'm here, he is engaging in my in the service. I'm very, very grateful to this. Very, very grateful. That's the attitude should be. Okay, very nice. Here's some. Denu Kali Das, $41. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Amal Kumar Sarkar, 51. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhupendra Singh and family, 108. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's good. We are done. Anyone else wants to offer? Oh, thank you. Because it's our, of course, we have 5 more weeks to plan. It's all offering our heart. This is Jackie and Gianna. Just right? Jackie and Gianna. $42. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, thank you so much. Are you good now? We have still few more weeks. Please plan, think how we can serve. How we can understand.
Till 6, another 5 minutes.
Another 5 minutes.
If we want, I can make some announcements.
Yes.
But let's just give one more minute. Let's just chat for a minute.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. She's bringing all the family Vrindavan Devi Dasi, 500 1.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
See, headmaster is correcting me. Vrindavan Devi Dasi and Lakshmi Kant, Mami lady. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jagannath Swami ki
Jai.
Hare ki Sudha Maharani ki Jai Shri Radha Sarvyanani ki Dhamatayasi Shri Govindai ki Srila Prabhupada ki. More important discipline, please keep this enthusiasm up. Then nothing more is needed. We wish all the best to all of you, and we pray for that wonderful Ratha Yatra devotees has prepared very nice feast also for on this occasion. Take your time, take this home, and think how we can make a wonderful program. Hare Krishna.
We have our tea now. I request everyone to please move forward so we can get a little bit more space, get a lot of space up here. Go on through.
Take this up and show. You can just. Ram Sham's not here today.
Suggestion. जय श्री श्री गौनिताय की जय, जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, जय श्री श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की जय.
Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pujarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vaskata